Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed.com. Today we're going to be walking you through two brand new product collections from Tempur Pedic called the Adapt and the roAdapt. And we're going to be walking you through some of the key features of all of these new products, as well as letting you know kind of how they fit in with the broader Tempur Pedic collection, including vis-a-vis some of the products that are being phased out in 2018. So stick around. One thing you'll notice about all of these new Tempur Pedic models is this cover, which is actually new to Tempur Pedic entirely. In terms of how it differs from the previous cover, you'll notice it's much smoother. There's a lot less, or a little bit less loft and undulation than the previous covers had. And most notably, it is definitely cooler to the touch. If you were to put your hand, one hand on the kind of new cover, one hand on the old cover, you will certainly notice a difference in terms of a coolness to the touch. But what's most interesting to us about this is how they achieve that coolness. In most cases, when we feel a cover that has a palpable coolness to the touch, it is achieved through the application of what's called phase change materials to the fabric. And that is a very effective method, but in a case of a cover that is removable and machine washable, as many of the Tempur Pedic mattresses are, or mattress covers are, the phase change materials are something that can wash off over time and therefore lose efficacy. In the case of the Tempur Pedic fabric, they achieve this coolness to the touch in a different way through the integration of a very dense fiber into the fabric. And that fiber, that dense fiber, by virtue of its high density, has sort of an inherent coolness to the touch, much the same way that a very dense material like marble has kind of an inherent coolness to the touch relative to less dense materials like wood. So we thought that to be a very clever way to both achieve those cooling properties while also making them more durable to being washed and so forth. We just want to open up the cover for you as well, just to kind of show you what's inside. So basically what you have here, and this is again a feature of everything on the kind of roAdapt and above. You see under here this very stretchy, breathable kind of cover here that does not come off. This stays on. And then this part here just zips right off and is machine washable. So now let's dive into the first of these new collections, which is called Adapt. And it consists of just two models, the Adapt Medium and the Adapt Medium Hybrid, both of which are $19.99 in a queen size. And that, by the way, is a mattress-only price, as will be all the prices that we quote in this video. Starting with the Adapt Medium, what's interesting about this model is that they've taken a lot of the characteristics, a lot of the materials, and the feel of their most popular model, which is the TEMPUR-Cloud Supreme. And they've brought it to a more affordable price point, this $19.99 price point. Overall, this model is not quite exactly the same as the TEMPUR-Cloud Supreme in that it is about a ½ inch shorter, and it does have this new cover that we showed you. But it is very similar in its construction, including that top layer of that TEMPUR-ES material, which is that softer Tempur material. So it has a lot of the same feel. It certainly has that slow responding kind of memory feel, but it also has that surface softness that you get from that TEMPUR-ES material, which is kind of what the TEMPUR-Cloud line is most known for. But overall, we would characterize this particular model as being a little firmer than how we think of the Cloud Supreme. We characterize the Cloud Supreme as a medium on our spectrum. This one feels a little firmer, more like something we would call a medium firm. So it might be a little closer to the TEMPUR-Cloud Prima in terms of its softness level. But certainly overall, the materials are very similar. The feel is very similar. And in fact, this model and its companion are going to be replacing both the Cloud Supreme and the Cloud Prima. So moving on now to the second model in the Adapt collection, the Adapt Medium Hybrid. This is basically a sibling to the Adapt Medium that I would characterize as having virtually identical characteristics in the top layers of the mattress. The key difference being that in the support layer of the mattress, instead of being an all foam construction, it's a hybrid construction, which basically means that the support is coming from a row of pocketed coils, which definitely gives the mattress more bounce. So overall though, in terms of the characteristics of the medium hybrid, we would describe them as virtually the same in terms of the softness, for example, the cushioning depth, the amount of conformance and pressure relief. We might notch it as just a hair softer than the Adapt Medium, only because of the give in those coils, but not enough that we would actually classify it differently. Really, the key difference between these two models is going to be your preference about that responsiveness and bounce. So now we've moved up to the ProAdapt collection, which has 4 models, all of which are $27.99 in a queen size. And there are really 3 key benefits that you get when you step up to the ProAdapt options. The first and foremost of which is that all of these models feature a brand new Tempur material that they call Tempur-APR, which stands for Advanced Pressure Relief. We'll describe the characteristics of that are going to be relevant for you as a sleeper in a minute. But the second benefit is that all of the models in this ProAdapt line have a removable cover. And the third benefit, in my mind, is that you have a greater choice of feels available to you in this line. You have the firm, the medium hybrid, which is actually a different feel in this case than the medium in terms of its softness, and then you have the soft. So coming back to that Tempur-APR material, one thing I want to explain is that this is not the material used in the top layer of the mattress, which Tempur Pedic calls the comfort layer. This is actually used about 2 inches down in the mattress in what they call the support layer. And according to Tempur Pedic, this is a formulation that offers more pressure relief than previous versions of the Tempur material formulas. What I think you'll notice in addition to that on any of these ProAdapt models is just how much conformance you get, particularly relative to the Adapt models. You can see here, I'm on the ProAdapt Medium right now, and you can just tell how much it's conforming to my hips as well as to my elbow here. But at the same time, the surface of the mattress has a definite firmness to it. A firmness that will vary across these models, particularly I think it's less in the hybrid version, but of course also less in the soft than it is in the medium versus the firm. But you can certainly see on the medium even how much surface firmness there is. It's only when you apply pressure as well as heat to this material that you start to see it conform and sort of loosen up. So that's a characteristic that all of the ProAdapt models share. So now we just want to quickly run through the 4 options in the ProAdapt collection because they do have very different feels from one another. And we're going to start here on the firm, which is the one that I'm on right now. And this is a model that we would actually classify as extra firm on our softness scale. To me, it's very reminiscent of the Tempur Contour Supreme, which is actually being phased out. So in my mind, you can really think of this as a close substitute for that one. But the one thing I want to point out relative to other mattresses that we might classify as extra firm is that you're still getting a lot of contouring in this mattress because unlike most extra firm mattresses, this Tempur material on top, while it is firm, is still doing a lot of conforming. It's able to conform very closely still to the curves of your body, and it's also able to provide a lot more pressure relief than most mattresses that we would classify as extra firm. So now I've moved back to the ProAdapt Medium, which we definitely would classify as a little softer than the firm, but we would probably still characterize it as a firm on our softness scale, as opposed to an extra firm. But the other difference that you're going to feel on the medium is that the cushioning depth gets a little deeper here as well. Because of that added softness, you're able to get a little deeper into the mattress, so there's a little bit more conforming as well. So now we've moved over to the ProAdapt Medium Hybrid, and in this case, we'd report a pretty significant jump in feel relative to the ProAdapt Medium. You may recall that when we talked about the difference between the Adapt Medium and the Adapt Medium Hybrid, we described the difference in feel as pretty minimal, but in this case, on the ProAdapt side, it's much more significant. In terms of the softness level of the ProAdapt Medium Hybrid, we would characterize this as probably a medium on our softness scale as well. Which is a pretty significant jump from a firm. And along with that additional softness, you also get a little bit more cushioning depth, a little bit more conformance. And of course, because the support layer of the medium hybrid is pocketed coils instead of foam, you're also going to get a lot more bounce. So now we've arrived at the last model in the ProAdapt collection, the Soft. And in our softness scale, we would probably classify this one as more of a medium soft, but it's certainly got the deepest cushioning, the most conformance. And I would also add that I also felt that I noticed the pressure relieving benefits of this collection even more on the soft version and the medium hybrid version, particularly when I was on my side, just on account of that added softness. So we hope you found this to be a helpful overview of the new Adapt and ProAdapt mattresses from Tempur Pedic. For more helpful information about how to choose the right mattress for you, go to goodbed.com. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and we really hope you sleep well.